gigantic.
Yeah, we huge. We got 2 different time zones, and somebody from somewhere else may feel like they need to go somewhere else to make it, but not Houston. You know, it depends on what you're trying to do. You know, you don't have to leave Houston to be a great rapper. You don't have to leave Houston to be a great comedian. If what you're trying to do is in Houston. You know, you can make movies in Houston. You can do whatever you want to do in Houston. Now, Dallas is growing. Now, Dallas is getting that same concept. But we the home of the independent. So industry not really our thing.
But that must be weird for you being a lifelong Houston resident. And obviously it's Austin. It's not Houston, but like seeing it almost becoming like cliche that like, no, this is where all the comics move now.
To Austin?
Yeah.
I think that's a LA thing.
Like LA transplants for the most part.
We don't think about Austin. When we talk about comedy in Texas, Austin doesn't come up.
Really?
Who's from Austin?
I have no idea.
That's the thing. And then what does Austin have that Houston hasn't had for the longest?
Right.
Or Dallas?
I couldn't really tell you when it comes to comedy. Like my perception of comedy in Texas for sure is entirely based on Joe Rogan moving there and then his various sycophants following him.
He's the LA guy that you know that's from here. That's like what we just talked about. Somebody's perception of California is Hollywood.
Yeah.
But we've had huge comics come from Houston and from Texas, you know, so way before Rogan got there.
Right.
You know, Sam Kinison was pretty big. Thea Badai was pretty big. You know, Bill Hicks and guys from Dallas. You know, we've had a rich culture. And then it was acting and great actors that came out of Austin before anybody from LA moved there. You know, we was having a festival in Austin. It's been comedy clubs, great comedy clubs from Houston to Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, long before the mothership was built. You know, we have a rich history of comedy in Texas.
Right.
Especially Houston.
But does it feel like it's changing in any way? No.
Not for me. I wouldn't feel it anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What's changing is people thinking that Austin or these new guys in Austin are the
end all be all.
Like, and we just sit back and look like, oh, okay.
Right.
It's still Houston's first, Dallas second, Austin third. Then San Antonio and Waco fill in where they can, El Paso. You know, like who's from? We like the best one out of Austin is a guy named Bryson Brown. Who else is from Austin?
Right.
You know, I listened to the podcast No Jumper with Ali, and you know, part of it I agree with. On the other hand, there's some things that I don't agree with. Right. I love Houston. I'm not even going to front. Every single time I've been to Houston, I've done extremely well. I've been received very well. Not a bad thing to say about Houston other than traffic when you get downtown. That's it. Everything else, top notch, right? And when you're an up-and-coming comic, I'm watching some of the comedians from Austin, the up-and-comers. They're moving, or if not moving, traveling back and forth to Austin consistently. They want to be a part of what's going on in Austin. Same for Dallas. They're driving down. Same for San Antonio. It is a fluctuation of different comics from all of the major cities to come down to Austin. And maybe it is, no, we know it's simply because of the Rogan effect. That's what it is, right? But when you think of Texas comedy, you don't think of Austin. At least for me. When I was here, prior to the mothership being here, I didn't think, oh yeah, I'm going to go down to Austin. I did apply to work at Cap City. And that's when Cap City was like the premier club. And then you had to wait months to be able to get on the open mic. Like Cap City had everything locked, and it changed once all these other clubs started popping up. It's a different ball game. They still have their stronghold on the community simply because it is a chain, right? It is part of the Heliums, and the Helium is a major player in the comedy business. But Houston, I didn't realize it had so much rich history and so many good comics. You heard me, I didn't say great. Good comics that came out of Houston, right? I think the best person to come out of Houston is Ali. I know there's other people, but that's who I think is the best to come out of Houston. Dallas is growing on me, but it's a little bit further, right? And me being a young comic, I'm like, yo, I'll drive wherever. I get hit up many a times by comedians saying, yo, you will get up and you'll go get it. Because that's what it's about, right? And for Ali to say that it's an LA thing and how other cities don't really think about Austin like that, I had to figure that on my own. Like, I lived in Tampa. I was doing really well in Tampa. And because of the Rogan sphere coming here and building early, I said, this is an opportunity to get on the ground floor and build your name, right? Because I did the same thing. I moved to Tampa, built my name. People knew about me within the comedy community. I said, if I could do the same thing in Austin, everything will be perfect. And I got here. And again, people definitely know who I am. It's not like I'm one of the whack comics out here or somebody that doesn't have a name for themselves. But I've learned that because Texas is so big, you have to be able to get outside of 6th Street. A lot of comics are focused on, like, if I can get in the clubs on 6th Street, my career is going to take off. And I don't believe that to be true. Like, if you befriend one of the big guys and they take you out to LA and introduce you to management and work you that way, absolutely. But is that happening for every person that's up in there? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have few of those comedians that are taking this seriously, building their fan base, and then taking off. I look at it like, if I'm not going to get in the Mothership, Sunset, or the Creek, there is other avenues within the state of Texas. You got the Punchline in Houston. You got the Riot Room. You got the Secret Group. You got LOL in San Antonio. You got 2 improvs in Dallas. You have the Dallas Comedy Club. You have Big Laugh. There are so many different options for you to be able to get on stage and build a relationship to further your career. A lot of young comics come here, and I think that they're daydreaming, sleepwalking, because they're like, we got to fight for these spots. And if I don't get these spots in my career, no, there are so many different ways to get on. And I'm figuring out that sometimes you got to work your way from the outside in. If you're not inside and you don't know somebody that can put you on or give you an alley-oop, then you got to find a way to make yourself relevant. Like, I knew Bryson Brown was from Austin, and Bryson is on the road with Bruce, doing his thing. Hella proud. You got Corey Cherry that's up in Fort Worth and in Dallas. You got Wizop. Those are the 2 homies that I know up there, right? You got Tone Bell that used to be up in Dallas. You got, what is his name? Josh? No, Jordan. You got Jordan. Jordan came from Dallas, but now he's here working at Sunset. Like, sometimes it takes for you to go outside, build, and then things will happen for you. So I'm going to focus on going to these other places and building, right? Because the end all be all is not on 6th Street. I'm happy to be a part of the community. I'm happy to be part of the first wave, because they've only been here 3-4 years. We're at the beginning stages of this. But if your focus is only on that street, you could put yourself on a hamster wheel and feel like you're not doing anything. You're running in circles. There's so many people that I've seen come into town, try to get here, try to do certain things, ended up going back home. Like, I'm here. My mom moved here. I'm here. I was here before Rogan and them got here because I was living in San Antonio. So I had already been acclimated and I already have roots here. I went to high school out in San Antonio. So this was a dream for me at the time. I wanted all this to happen then, but it didn't happen. So now I'm creating that opportunity. But I like how he said, it's Houston, Dallas, Austin, then San Antonio. I'm telling y'all right now, San Antonio is creeping up. Slowly but surely, it's creeping up. It's always been the stepchild, the redheaded stepchild, but it's growing. The amount of people that live in Austin and the amount of people that live in San Antonio are extremely separate. You got 600-something thousand versus 1-point-something million. It's going to surpass. Eventually, that's where I think Rogan should put his next club, is in San Antonio. That's what I really believe. But these conversations need to be had, because if you're on a certain level, you don't see the same things that we are on the come up are seeing. Like, I would love to work at the mothership. I would love to be a regular at the mothership. I would love to be a regular at Sunset. Same thing with the Creek and the Cave. But would I rather stand in line or work at Cap City? Work at LOL? I would choose Cap City and LOL, because I'm not in for this quick, fast gimmick of wanting to get on. I'm in it for the long haul. So if it takes me time to build, then that's what I'm going to have to do. Tell me what y'all think. Do y'all think that Dallas or Houston or San Antonio or Austin, which city do you think is the best city for comedy? Put it down in the comments. I'll holler at y'all on the next one.